Hello everyone, I'm Nick Biafor, and this is my 7th vlog entry for Dr. Alan Reed's book, The Smartphone Paradox. This one is titled Going Dark. So within this vlog, I'm going to be summarizing the key points of the chapter, reflecting on how I compare myself to this chapter and my past experiences, and then I'll connect it to other readings that we have done within the course. So to open up this chapter within Dr. Alan Reed's book, The Smartphone Paradox, it opens up with a speech that is delivered by FBI Director James Comey in 2014 called Going Dark, Our Technology, Privacy, and Public Safety on a Collision Course. Comey argues here that technology rapidly involves law enforcement that is being left behind. Within this, he states that technology has forever changed the world we live in. Our phones and computers have become reflections on our personalities, our interests, and our identities. Comey's concern here was that criminals were using encrypted smartphones to hide from law enforcement, and companies like Apple were making it harder for us to access information even in criminal investigations. During this all came to a head during the 2015 San Bernardino mass shooting when the FBI recovered an iPhone 5C which belonged to one of the shooters. Because of the phone, it had a built-in encryption, the FBI couldn't access its contents without risking data loss. Apple refused to build a backdoor operating system, warning that would create a dangerous precedent. Apple CEO here, Tim Cook, within this chapter explained, the FBI wants us to make a new version of the iPhone operating system, circumventing several important security features. So within all this, the legal fight even evoked the All Writs Act of 1789 to compel Apple's cooperation, but the FBI eventually dropped the request and paid hackers to unlock their device. This situation sparked a national debate over privacy, surveillance, and the power of technology. Within his chapter, Reed then explores how smartphones are a getaway to our personal lives. Within this, he says they store our texts, email, phone call history, location, and data web browsing activity. And this information is often shared with all third-party companies without our knowledge. Within this chapter, a Princeton and Berkeley study found that 7 out of 10 apps on our smartphone are not only collecting and archiving personal data, but also sharing it with third-party users. Reed also brings up the case of Riley versus California, which is a landmark Supreme Court case which ruled that searching a phone without a warrant is unconstitutional, and emphasizes the smartphones that deserve heightened protection as well. However, a loophole still remains within this. Courts have ruled that police can compel users to unlock their phones using fingerprints or face IDs, since biometric data is considered physical evidence and not protected speech. Another thing within this, Reed introduces the idea of techno-self, which is a term that describes how our identities are deeply intertwined with technology. He uses this as a metaphor while surfing He uses surfing here as a metaphor. While surfing used to be a meditative physical activity, it is now being technologicalized with the smart surfboards and GPS watches that collect and share performance data. Reed notes from this, technology plays a role in both scenarios, but when technology is present, our behavior is influenced and the overall experience is altered. So overall, while reading this chapter, I was really intrigued with all the information that Dr. Alan Reed was able to provide within this, since I always kind of wondered what the FBI would do with all this encrypted data and how they handle all of it. So after reading this chapter, it made me realize how much of my personal data could be floating out within the digital world, as well as everything once you put something out on the internet, it stays out on the internet. Like Reed said, I have often accepted app permissions or shared my locations without fully understanding the implications. This often started when I first got a phone. And one quote within this stuck with me from Reed. He says, "Each time we unlock our smartphone, we advertise sensitive information." This made me stop to think that, do I even know what I'm giving away at that point? Within this, Reed's term techno-self also hit close to home with me. I use sometimes when I'm working out now, I use a fitness tracker. It's an Under Armour MyFitnessPal tracker app, and I also use a Nike Run app as well. When I go out and do my daily runs or even do a workout, I definitely fallen into a trap that Reed describes of here of running more data for the data than the joy of the running. Because while I'm also, let's say I'm going on a run, I always look at my phone to see what's going on and what the time is of that. I've also had moments where I skipped a workout because my phone was also dead as well, or even such other things like my watch could be dead or whatnot. So Reed described a similar moment where he wrote, "Now I run for data," which really resonates me. Within this the part of the chapter that stood out to me the most was when Reed's defense of boredom. He talks about how smartphones have killed boredom, but that's not a good thing. Reed says here, boredom urges creativity, and shares how people like Joseph Brodsky and even researchers see the value of boredom. This made me reflect on my own habits as well. I automatically reach for my phone every moment of downtime. Maybe those are the moments when I should be thinking, reflecting, or just being present within myself or in the world. So within this chapter, I saw a lot of reflections as well. This chapter tied in really well with other course themes on digital surveillance, algorithmic control, and the illusion of privacy. Reed's discussion of San Bernardino's iPhone connection connects to our early readings of surveillance capitalism, where companies and governments use personal data to influence behaviors and maintain control. He also discusses backdoors, which echoes the concern of what we raised about the state overreach and how easily tools meant for protection which can be used as well. Within this, I also connected this to Marshall McLuhan's idea of the global village. Dr. Alan Reed says here, he directly references noting how media extends our central nervous system itself in a global embrace. This idea that our device extensions of ourselves aligns perfectly with the techno-self concept that he gives, and how we increasingly see the world through digital meditation and how it reshapes who we are. Reed also brings up the historical content from Samuel Warren and all that, pretty much, on the right to privacy, which argued the personal solitude in face of intrusive technology. Within this concern that modern enterprise and invention have through invasions upon privacy, subject to mental pain and distress. Lastly, within this, Reed mentions the Internet of Things and the rise of smart everything, so like the smart surfboards, homes, and even our own bodies. This connects with our discussions on ambition, surveillance, and datafication. Reed says here we leave a trail of data generating big data and even bigger opportunity of intrusion. This means he essentially is describing the very world of predictive analytics and behavior targeting we have studied. So within this chapter, I saw a lot of great things that made me think about my smartphone use and data use as well. So within Chapter 7 of the Smartphone Paradox, it brings a compelling exploration of the complex trade-offs we have made in the digital age between privacy and safety, between connectivity and solitude, and between analog and digital selfhood. Reed in this challenge us to think about not just what technology does for us, but what it actually does for us. So thank you all for listening, and looking forward to Chapter 8.